2 days ago, NASA live-streamed Earth views from Artemis. It was said to be a historical imagery event. But the real imagery event was not the alleged view of Earth from the Artemis. The real imagery event happened within the very first 3 minutes of the nearly hour-long event. The real imagery event began by showing a picture of the moon with a rocket pictured aside of it. Then it moved to a scene where it shows the Earth depicted in metal or brass. But what stood out in this season was the word Virgo on the belt. This of course coincides with our constellations. The constellations that we see year after year, in which would only be possible on a stationary Earth. Then they move to a scene with a map embedded into a magnifying glass. This is a nod for you to look a little bit closer. The map shows terra, meaning land and territories. It also depicts one or a congregation of multiple icy terras around its perimeter. Now in the next scene they are now what appears to be breaking through the firmament or the Earth's atmosphere. This is then depicted with a telescope and a hot air balloon, insulating that now they are above the terra, with a creepy depiction of a creepy being with a wide head, a small face and upturned eyebrows. Then they move to a scene that shows the terra of Philippi size, which of course is the Philippines near the Pacific Ocean. And I believe the Pacific Ocean was the point where the feed had ended during the first live stream of the departure from the Earth's alleged orbit. All of the oceans are in blue and the terras are in either white or light brown. The scene moved to a woman in statue form, and of course this woman signifies Artemis herself, and Artemis is the Greek goddess of the moon. She was also a daughter of Zeus, through adultery. Artemis and her twin brother Apollo killed a dragon at only a few days old. Artemis was known as a virgin goddess but was intrigued by no other than the god Orion. But Orion ended up being killed by the goddess of the earth, due to his pledge to Artemis that he would slay every animal to process his love for her. Artemis begged Zeus to make Orion immortal, and that is allegedly how the constellation Orion and Scorpio came about. This also relates to the book of Enoch, where it speaks about certain stars or constellations coming down to the earth before their time and getting in trouble for it. Artemis was said to howl with the wolves, and that's why in countless movies the moon is always howled upon by wolves. She even had a pack of wolves to attack a man, just for looking at her naked body, and also changed one into a deer. This story of course had to be followed up by some sort of human sacrifice, which I believe we should all keep an eye out for. NASA has exposed the flat Earth by depicting flat Earth maps within the introduction of its imagery, even for the mission to the moon. Globe Earth fail.
Really starting to be able to make out that solar array wing now in the bottom left, now more middle of your screen. And you're seeing there on your screen our first Earth views. This view of Earth captured from a human-rated spacecraft not seen since 1972 during the final Apollo mission some 50 years ago. The views of our blue marble in the blackness of space now capturing the imagination of a new generation, the Artemis generation. Orion looking back at Earth as it travels toward the moon 57,000 miles away from the place we call home. And as we continue to marvel in this spectacular image here in Mission Control Houston, you have a great view of the Orbital Maneuvering System, or OMS engine, that main engine on the top left of your screen there that was used an hour and 43 minutes ago to perform the OTC, or outbound trajectory correction maneuver, as well as a few of the auxiliary engines on the bottom of the European service module, flanked by the solar array wing on the right portion, right above the Earth on your screen. If you're just tuning in with us, you're looking at a breathtaking live view of the Earth from the Orion spacecraft as it makes its journey to the moon. We are continuing to get these views of Earth from the solar array wing camera. The solar array wing can be seen there in the center of your screen, that rectangular shaped object.